Welcome to Unicorn Recap. Today I am going to explain an action thriller drama film called On Back, released in the year 2008. Watch out, spoilers ahead. The narrative begins in 1431. A kingdom was under the rule of King Boromorakatairath II, who had ambitions to expand his territory. He commanded his soldiers to seize land from neighboring kingdoms in the east. After waging battles for more than a year, they achieved a significant victory by capturing a place known as the Holy City. Among the commanders was a man named Kop. One fateful day, he was seen fleeing with Prince Tien, who was a high-priority target for the Ayutthaya soldiers. To ensure the prince's safety, Kop decided to hide him in the forest.
Take care of yourself, young master.
Hoping the soldiers would not locate him. Unfortunately for Kop, he was not as fortunate. He found himself surrounded by numerous archers, who promptly killed him with a volley of arrows. The following day, Prince Tien took refuge under a large tree. However, he was discovered by some human traffickers who intended to sell him. Unwilling to be captured, Tien fought back fiercely. This enraged Hek, the leader of the traffickers. In a fit of anger, Hek threw Tien into a pond inhabited by a massive crocodile. Just when things seemed dire for Tien, a band of thieves led by a man named Cherna appeared. Cherna, known for his courage, saw the unfolding events and decided to intervene. He and his gang leaped into the fray, battling the human traffickers. After defeating them, Cherna handed Tien a sharp dagger and urged him to finish off the crocodile. He told Tien that life is tough and he must fight to survive. With Cherna's encouragement and the weapon, Tien mustered the courage to defeat the crocodile. Cherna then took Tien to his hidden base under Garuba Hill. There, Tien met a man named Gong, who possessed extensive knowledge of special abilities. Gong observed Tien and recognized his impressive fighting potential, believing Tien could become a formidable warrior one day. Cherna asked Tien if he wanted to stay and train. Initially, Tien was uncertain, but after witnessing Cherna's son training with great dedication, he decided to remain. Tien then immersed himself in learning various combat techniques, including Muay Thai, sword fighting, Kung Fu, and even magic. He trained relentlessly, day and night. It's now past 15 years, and Tien, now a teenager, had grown up mastering the art of combat. He even confronted a large herd of elephants, ultimately defeating the toughest among them to become their leader. Chernung then decided to challenge Tien's abilities through 3 arduous fights. First, Tien faced an opponent adept with a sword. The battle was intense, but Tien emerged victorious. The second match was against a Kung Fu master, and once again, Tien won. The third fight was particularly difficult. Tien had to confront a huge Muay Thai fighter who was both sweaty and slippery. Despite the challenge, Tien's intelligence prevailed as he used a special technique to pin him down. After these tests, Chernung had one final challenge for Tien. He sent him into a dark cave where a man, who had gone mad practicing tiger-style fighting, was waiting. They fought fiercely. And then Chernung introduced a twist by giving them both knives, instructing them to fight until one was left standing. The fight was wild, but Tien, being the skilled fighter he is, managed to win. Eventually, Chernung announced to his group that Tien would be the new leader of Pak Pek Pek Parrot. Chernung, feeling his age, believed that Tien possessed the qualities needed to guide everyone. Once Tien took command, he and his crew embarked on a mission, ambushing a group of messengers who were transporting a statue of the king of Ayutthaya. After seizing the statue, a memory sparked in Tien's mind. He recalled that when he was a child, his parents, the great commander and leader in the holy capital, had sent him to a dancing village. There, an elderly man named Bo taught him to dance. Tien's father, Wang, had confided a secret to Bo. A high-ranking commander named Rajasana had betrayed his own people. Rajasana seized control and eliminated anyone who opposed him, including Tien's own father, Wang. After leaving Tien with Bo, his parents returned to their city to defend it. While living in the dancing village, Tien befriended a dancer named Phim. However, Tien wasn't entirely happy. He longed to be in the fighting hut rather than the dancing one. He wanted to become strong enough to confront the villains.
I want to be a great warrior.
Unexpectedly, one of Tien's father's men came to retrieve Tien, saying he needed to be hidden somewhere safe. However, on their way, they encountered Commander Kop, a loyal friend of Tien's family. It turns out that the man wasn't actually taking Tien to safety. He was delivering him straight to Rajasana. However, Kop wasn't about to let that happen. He fought off the enemies and saved Tien. They then ended up in a village where Tien witnessed the most horrifying sight: Rajasana killing his parents. Tien couldn't help but cry out, revealing his hiding place. Cop quickly grabbed Tien and made a run for it, getting him as far away as possible. This is the scene we see at the start of the movie, where Tien is thrown into the woods. In the present, at a market, it is revealed that Heck is still alive and is now leading a larger group of slave traders. This time, he has even more people to sell. At one point, he cruelly attempts to separate a mother from her child, planning to sell them individually. While he was being harsh with the woman, a drunk man hurled a jug at Heck's head. Furious, Heck attacked the drunkard, but it turned out to be Tien, now back for revenge. Wasting no time, Tien swiftly took down Heck by seizing his neck, and then dealt with Heck's crew as well. After the battle, Tien's friends arrived and took control of the market to settle the score. Tien had his team throw Heck into a crocodile pit, and he liberated all the slaves, allowing them to return to their normal lives. In summary, Tien returned to his base, and Chernung could sense that Tien had something weighing on his mind. Although Tien didn't reveal his desire for revenge against Rajasena for the atrocities committed against his family, Chernung, as Tien's mentor, advised him to complete his mission but to come back afterward. The following morning, Tien began his journey to Rajasena's grand palace. On his way, he observed villages that had been ravaged by Rajasena. That night at the palace, Rajasena was hosting an extravagant party with his associates. During the event, royal performers presented a dance featuring Phim, who had grown into a graceful and stunning woman. After the dance, Phim was summoned to Rajasena. Following her performance, there was an eagle dance by a masked performer. During the dance, the masked man noticed Rajasena fixated on Phim. Suddenly, the dancer hurled fire towards Rajasena and the other officials. The dancer turned out to be Tien. He was seeking revenge on Rajasena for his parents' deaths.
This will be for my father.
Believing he had succeeded in his mission, Tien escaped by leaping into a river, but he left behind a distinctive dagger from Chernung. This clue led the royal officials to deduce that Tien was associated with the Pak gang. When Tien returned to his base, he found it deserted and instead encountered a royal assassin, the very same person who had killed his father. Tien didn't hesitate and engaged in combat with the assassin. Just as he thought he had prevailed, more assassins arrived, and despite Tien's prowess, he began to feel overwhelmed. Fortunately, his large elephant companion, Alpha, came to his aid. However, an assassin skilled in all forms of martial arts appeared to challenge Tien. This new fighting style was unfamiliar to him, and the assassin had Tien on the ropes. As the situation grew dire, royal soldiers arrived to capture Tien. To Tien's shock, Rajasena was still alive, having worn a protective vest during the previous night. Tien's shock intensified when he recognized Chernung among Rajasena's crew. Chernung was the assassin sent to eliminate Tien's father 15 years ago.
The man in black in front of you, right there. He's the one that murdered your father.
Chernung confronted Tien, expressing regret that he hadn't known Tien was the Prince Rajasena was after, or he would have eliminated him much sooner. Just as Chernung was about to deliver the final blow, Tien broke his sword and used the remaining piece to stab Chernung in the neck. With Chernung defeated, Tien was deeply distressed. Despite Chernung's role in his parents' deaths, he had also been Tien's mentor. Tien was surrounded and lacked the strength to resist Rajasena's men any longer. Tien was captured, and Rajasena resolved to subject him to 13 extremely grueling punishments. By the time Tien was enduring his 8th punishment, which involved being beaten with a cane while his hands were shackled, he was completely exhausted. However, when Rajasena made an imprudent remark about sending Tien after his father, Tien's anger was reignited. He attempted to fight back. But there were too many soldiers, and he was subdued again. Rajasena wanted to ensure that Tien could no longer resist, so he ordered his men to break Tien's elbows and hips. In the meantime, the village of Kanakon is facing an epidemic of illness. A local physician is treating a few patients, while the villagers attribute the sickness to a curse. In an effort to find a remedy, a master named Gul leads a Buddhist pilgrimage. During this journey, he uncovers that the origin of the curse is Buddhasenka, the dark mystic or the devil of darkness. Master Bua then harnesses the malevolent energy into a single leaf that he holds in his hand. Following this, he chooses to become a monk to combat the evil forces. Elsewhere, Rajasena is plagued by visions of his deceased predecessor, whom he had poisoned to seize the throne. These haunting visions torment him, revealing that Rajasena is afflicted by a curse placed upon him by the late king before his death. Later, in the dead of night, Rajasena awakens to find a confrontation taking place in his courtyard. It appears that some soldiers have come to liberate a captive team. At that moment, Booty appears unexpectedly and takes down the soldiers one by one. After observing his extraordinary fighting abilities, Rajasana proposes to employ him, hoping to secure his services. However, the dark mystic has other plans. Instead, he recommends lifting Rajasana's curse, hinting at a link between the curse and Tien. The malevolent lord believes this immediately and instructs his men to eliminate Tien. But just as the executioner is about to deliver the fatal blow, a messenger from the Ayutthaya kingdom arrives with a pardon for Tien, granted by the highest authority in the realm. This leaves Rajasena with no option but to release his prized prisoner. In a fit of rage, he experiences a sudden hallucination, seeing his own soldiers approaching to execute him. Overcome by frustration, he snaps out of the vision and impulsively kills one of his own men. Meanwhile, Tien is hurriedly transported to the village of Kanakon for necessary treatment. His childhood sweetheart, Pim, is assigned to care for him. However, before the healing can commence, they are ambushed by masked attackers sent by Rajasena. As the chaos erupts, a violent confrontation breaks out between the masked assailants and the royal messengers. The malevolent forces quickly gain the upper hand, systematically killing the innocent villagers. The remaining messengers rally together, fighting with all their strength. Eventually, the masked attackers are defeated, but at the cost of the lives of the messengers. In the following scene, Tien is seen lying on a stone bed, his body encased in bandages that reflect the severity of his injuries. Master Bois, having emerged from his meditative trance, explains that Tien's present condition is the result of his past negative karma. He then summons the entire village to join in prayer, hoping to restore Tien to health. This healing ritual includes crafting the sacred on-back Buddha statue, offering heartfelt prayers to the deities, and administering herbal remedies. Amid these healing efforts, Pim, driven by her deep affection and commitment to Tien, performs a captivating prayer dance to hasten his recovery. Fortunately, their united efforts produce a favorable result as Tien regains consciousness. However, due to the severe beatings he endured, he is unable to stand on his own. At dawn, Tien drags himself toward a nearby cliff, contemplating an unthinkable act due to his feelings of hopelessness, both physically and mentally. Just then, Master Bois arrives and intervenes. Initially, Master Bois reprimands Tien for abandoning his responsibility to save the kingdom and its people. He then shifts focus to the rising sun, imparting a profound lesson that even in the darkest times, light is ever present, waiting to dispel the shadows. Inspired by these words, Tien finds renewed motivation to continue living and reconsiders his decision. From that moment on, he embarks on a demanding journey. He drags his weakened form to an abandoned temple hidden deep within the forest and begins to treat himself. He also stretches his muscles and contorts his joints in an effort to regain his ability to stand. Over time, Tien's body starts to respond, slowly recovering its strength and resilience. One day, Pim arrives at the temple to visit him. She tells him how much she missed him and how she has been praying daily for his recovery. Hearing this, Tien is overcome with joy and asks her to dance. After their intimate dance, they stand together on a rocky cliff, embracing each other. The next day, Master Bois approaches Tien and teaches him about Dharma, which encompasses the principles of righteousness, merit, and fulfilling religious and moral duties. Inspired by this lesson, Tien embarks on a transformative journey. He practices various spiritual dance movements and trains to develop a new combat style that blends martial arts with dance. As days pass, he evolves into a formidable warrior, capable of defeating anyone. Meanwhile, Rajasena visits Booty's dilapidated castle, seeking to break free from the curse that has tormented him. However, Booty reveals his true nature, disclosing that he has been the source of Rajasena's suffering all along. He also declares his ambition to become the new king. Infuriated by this revelation, Rajasena orders his soldiers to eliminate Booty. Despite their concerted efforts, the soldiers are powerless against the formidable dark mystic. Booty demonstrates his remarkable combat prowess, swiftly dispatching the soldiers one after another. In the end, Rajasena is left isolated, so he grabs his bow and arrow and aims them at the traitor. However, before he can release the shot, Booty reaches him first and decapitates him. The severed head curses Booty, just as the former king had cursed Rajasena, but the dark mystic seems unaffected by it. Later, Booty ascends to the throne, taking control of the kingdom. With only one adversary left, Booty sends his soldiers on a mission to eliminate Tien. That evening, as Tien is engrossed in his training, he is suddenly confronted by a group of soldiers determined to kill him and appease their new master. However, Tien has different plans. Utilizing his newly acquired combat skills, he defeats the enemy soldiers one by one with apparent ease. It seems that Tien has truly mastered the essence of Dharma through relentless dedication and disciplined practice. Following this, Tien hastens towards the village of Kanakon, only to be confronted with a grim scene. The once thriving village now lies in devastation, its streets smeared with the lifeless bodies of its inhabitants. The sight overwhelms Tien emotionally, and he begins to weep uncontrollably. His solitude is soon shattered, however, as a new wave of enemy soldiers charges toward him, brimming with confidence in their ability to defeat him. Little do they realize that they have provoked the most formidable warrior in existence. Fueled by a fervent quest for revenge, Tien channels his rage and delivers a severe lesson to the soldiers. After vanquishing them, he performs a final rite to honor the deceased villagers, paying his respects to their memory. Subsequently, he encounters Master Bua, who offers him some words of encouragement and presents him with a mystical staff, reputed to vanquish the forces of darkness. Master Bua reveals that this staff is the mightiest weapon known and, if wielded correctly, has the power to summon the gods themselves. Meanwhile, in Booty's kingdom, it is revealed that Pam and the remaining villagers have been captured and forced into servitude. They are made to toil under extremely harsh conditions, and any minor mistakes or signs of fatigue are met with brutal beatings from the soldiers, who use whips without mercy. The plight of the royal elephants is even more dire. They are cruelly slaughtered, so that Booty can consume their blood to gain additional strength. Meanwhile, Tien arrives at the kingdom, resolute in his mission to liberate his people and vanquish the enemy. However, Booty perceives his arrival and decides to act. In a startling exhibition of power and sorcery, he conjures an eclipse that envelops the kingdom in complete darkness. This startling event makes the villagers recognize that Booty is no mere mortal, causing them to bow in terror before him. Unfortunately, Booty discovers that Pin is Tien's beloved, and in a cruel twist, he seizes her and eliminates her. This horrific act drives Tien to the brink of madness. In a fit of rage, he launches a brutal assault against the guards. He then attempts to kill Booty, but the dark sorcerer quickly reverses the situation, driving a spear deep into Tien's chest, leaving him on the verge of death. As Tien's life slips away, he recalls Master Bua's teachings, and suddenly the entire conflict and Pin's tragic fate are revealed to be merely an illusion. Given this unexpected second chance, Tien resolves to approach the battle differently. He harnesses the power of his magical staff to summon a thunderstorm, delivering a decisive strike against Booty. This powerful blow shatters Booty's demonic abilities, causing the eclipse to dissipate, signifying the victory of light over darkness. As Booty recovers from the strike, he is incredulous to see his demonic powers slowly diminishing before his eyes. Soon, Tien faces Booty in the ultimate confrontation, where the final battle between the two unfolds. Unlike in the illusionary fight, Tien now fights with a composed demeanor, channeling his newly acquired skills. At one point during the clash, Booty hurls his spear, intending to finish off his opponent once and for all. However, much to Booty's astonishment, Tien catches the spear effortlessly with his bare hands. The duel persists for a while, and both combatants end up on the royal ledge above the arena. They appear to be evenly matched in combat, but Tien holds a significant edge in focus. Attuned to his surroundings, he strategically lifts Booty by the chin and drops him onto a rampaging elephant. The beast's tusk breaks and pierces Booty, ultimately killing him. With Booty's demise, the war comes to a close, and the kingdom is liberated from malevolence. The film concludes with Tien, Pim, and the surviving villagers paying homage to the revered Ong Bak Buddha statue. They now look forward to a future of peace, free from any malevolent forces or curses. Thank you for watching. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button for more fascinating recaps.